I like the idea of identity. So this is I actually studied German, and I studied these writers like Frisch, Dürrenmatt, and Brecht, and they were all, and particularly after the Second World War, they were all preoccupied with, you know, what do we write about and how do we write, you know, after after the Second World War and our part in it. So they're sort of writers known as from the Stunde Null. So they were all basically looking at a new identity. They basically starting again. And Max Frisch is you know, preoccupied with that. So it's like what determines my identity, and how can I, you know, have an identity which is in essence so laden with a past that is not something to be proud of. You know, although he was Swiss, but and I think for a lot of these German writers, they had a sort of difficulty, like after the Second World War, like what is it that we're defending, or what is it that we're writing about? So, and I like that. I like that question of identity. I always have, you know, in many ways. What does it mean? What does it mean for us? You know, to what extent is my identity determined from where I'm born, you know, whose child I am, which country I'm in, what language I speak. You know, is my identity formed by the fact that I am surrounded by mountains, or that I look at the sea? So all of these kind of things are interesting for me. It's very romantic. I mean, not so much. I don't think so much difficulties. I mean, it's like it just doesn't resonate with me in the same way as modern play does, in that sort of sense. You know, that romanticism is not something not that I don't believe in romanticism, but you know, also the language. Yeah, I don't know. By want of a better word, I feel that maybe it is at times not genuine. You know, that like the romanticism as such. You know, that like, and although I think actually that Max Frisch is a very genuine writer, and that in general, sort of like so that the concept which he addresses is very genuine. And I also sort of think that Santakrusa is the first play of Max Frisch. So I think his later plays are not so romantic in that sort of sense. So I think it's also somebody who is pleased with the fact that they can write, and that they, you know, and they're testing out, you know, how florid they can be with words and all that kind of stuff. And so I try as a director to sort of go a little bit against that, and actually I believe to tell more of a story, and maybe this is a little arrogant, but more of a story that he would be interested in. So like I think, because I think that the underlying thoughts are intellectual thoughts, and they're not romantic. They're existential questions. For me, the meaning of the Santakrusa is interesting because I discussed it with people, and there is a Santakrusa in America. There's a Santakrusa in the Spanish Isles, and you know, like what I understood is that Max Frisch didn't want Santakrusa to be a specific place. But what Santakrusa is for me is it's a jumping off point. It's a starting point. It's as much the river Styx, where you know, where either people are confronted with their death, or you know, it's a place where people make decisions, life decisions, sort of like, and so literally is a harbor from which either people are running to or running from. So I think it's a place where either people, you know, which have run away from something arrive, or people who are, you know, pursuing dreams, and who, so it's a place that people, you know, use as a starting point, and it's a place where people sort of run to when they're running away from something. And that's also what's happening in this play. I think there are two main characters, and one character is in essence dreaming of Hawaii, and so he has dreams, and the other character is basically he was engaged to a woman and he has lost her, and I think he is a little bit at a loss what to do with his life, and he is running away from a situation. So and in a strange kind of way, the man who is running towards Hawaii and the man who is running away from a painful situation, they meet. And they meet at Santakrusa, but it's a place where choices are made, where decisions are made. I think what I really like about this play is like that in the end it sort of gives an answer. I think love is everything. You know, love is neither, you know, just staying, nor is love just going. Love is both. Love is basically being able to sort of accept that you have made certain kind of choices and therefore you missed out on certain kind of things, or that you know, like which is the case for both of them. You know, there's like I think Pellegrin, who is the person who's run away from this love relationship, also sort of says you can. It seems you can't have both. You can't have. The expression in English is you can't have your cake and eat it. You know, you at the moment you eat the cake is gone, and it's like and that's the same, and that's the same for the Baron, who whilst he's in a relationship with the woman, he is still dreaming about the possibilities of traveling and all that kind of stuff. And what I think the playwright gives as a solution, and that's something I definitely cohere to, is that both things exist at the same time. I might be in love with somebody, I might spend my time with them, and might change my life around them, but it doesn't mean to sort of say that I don't think about choices that I haven't made. You know, that my desires are still with me. So, and in this case, I chose two actors for different reasons. Is that basically two actors because maybe one of the actors would probably normally be more suited for the Baron, and the other one probably would, like if you were to typecast them, there would be probably, you would go like, oh, that one would suit the Baron and that one suit. So as a director, I like to go against type, so it's like so that rather than choose the predictable character. So that's one thing why I want. But then also, as it is about choice, and it is about the question, can we really choose who we are? That basically, I think it plays. In this particular case, I even want to give the audience an opportunity so that they can choose which actor will play tonight's performance, and because that's there too is choice, that they have so that basically everybody understands that there is a contract, that this play is about a choice, and then it is still up to people to sort of see whether there really is a choice in choosing our destinies. And I'm not trying to give an answer, because we also operate, we work with some people. We've interviewed somebody who is a scientist, and Andres Ambainis, and he talks about the laws of physics, and that in the laws of physics there isn't really choice, that basically we are all, and then there is we sort of talked with a philosopher, Slapins, and who does talk about choice in a slightly different concept. So this whole play is about, is choice an actuality or not? Do we have choice in determining our own destinies, in determining who we are? And so that's the game, or the play for the audience also, that they can choose who will play the part they want to prefer. Is that something, is that really a possibility in life? Is that, to what extent do we have choice? That is just, and it's just an interesting question, and I think, so it's a game, but it's also it also gets to the heart of the play, and it's also, as a director, it is interesting for me because I can play with two actors who are good actors. But I can see, different qualities, and do we have to make the same choices with the same people, or do we have to make different choices with who they are when preparing for a role? So it's also, the process is about choice. The process has been harder. The process has been harder because I don't know them. Not so much with my leading actors. There's but I think, of course, it's necessarily harder. If you have a shorthand with people, it's easier to sort of. If I work with people, that I make references, they understand, and here I work with people. I don't have references, so in a strange kind of way, it's very much like coming to the Dailes theatre for the first time, rather than having been coming here for quite a few times. But that's both, at times really frustrating that I do not have that shorthand, and at times it's also really exciting because it's I like working with the actors who play the Baron and Pellegrin. And with the actress who plays Elvira, so it's nice to sort of be able to explore new people and their potential. I hope that the spectators will still be seduced by the romanticism of the play. I hope that they are also look at the underlying sort of themes like choice, identity, destiny, and hopefully also relate that to the laws of physics, to philosophy, and at the same time I hope that they will have fun. I mean, it will be quite hopefully a slightly different kind of world where these people operate, and I use some English songs. I hope that some of those songs are recognizable, so it's I hope it's romantic, sometimes funny, and sometimes profound. So I think that these are the main things to sort of romanticism, strange worlds combined with intellectual questions that are of interest to the people who are watching it.